Well, more Rise of the Beast stuff. I wasn't really sure if I was going to get this set or if I was going to get the individual releases of Nightbird and Wheeljack, because I wasn't really convinced on Cheetor, but I went to Target and I saw this, and movie hype just overtook me. I couldn't say no to it, and it's a really good deal for 3 Deluxes. This 3-pack only cost $55, which if they were standard Deluxes, standard Deluxe price, these would be $75. So I think saving $20 pretty much is a good deal. I'm very happy to get this, and we are talking about all 3 figures in this video. Buzzworthy Bumblebee released them all in this 3-pack. They will be released individually, but obviously we've got Cheetor, which is not accurate whatsoever to the movie. We have Nightbird, which seems fairly accurate to the movie, and the very controversial, but good old Wheeljack, which seems pretty spot on to the movie. So yeah, pretty cool set here. If you're only wanting one of these, do keep in mind they will get individual releases if they haven't already. So yeah, these are my first mainline Deluxes from Rise of the Beasts. I didn't see the Bumblebee, Air Razor, and Mirage 3-pack, but that's one I will probably end up with too. But hey, let's get this going. Let's start off with good old Cheetor. Alrighty, so first figure out of the box, and my first impression is it's not accurate to the movie. That's for sure. But it is a pretty interesting design. I actually do have the movie-accurate Studio Series Cheetor right here, so we can do a bit of a comparison. If you watched my review on the Studio Series, you know I absolutely love it. This is how he looks in the movie. This is the movie-accurate toy. But I was, when I saw these, I was originally thinking, I don't really need these because they're not accurate to the movie. But then I remembered, I love movie toys like this. I love movie toys that don't really represent the movie in an accurate way, but are still a cool, fun toy that manages to, represent the movie in some way. It's kind of a weird thing. It's like a non-movie movie toy. I really enjoy it. And honestly, looking at this and feeling it, I'm actually pretty impressed. I was actually not sure if I was going to keep this guy when I got this set. I was thinking, I could sell this Cheetor off, make some money back. But just fiddling with it and looking at the deco and looking at the sculpt and everything, I don't see this leaving my collection anytime soon. I really enjoy it. It has a look to it. Like, yes, it's not how he looks in the movie, but it still looks really cool. So let's take a look at his weapons. First up, he actually has a gun that kind of is reminiscent of his original Beast Wars gun. Kind of like the Gut gun. It's not like guts, but you can see it's kind of like cybernetic guts, I guess. I don't know, it's pretty cool. I like this two-tone of like yellow and orange all over him. That's something I really dig. I'm not the biggest fan of the brown, I'm not going to lie. I kind of wish this brown was one of the orangey colors, but it still looks neat, still looks fine, still kind of fits the cheetah motif. But one thing I think is pretty cool is his, little bit of paper in there still, is his tail sword thing. So oftentimes Cheetor figures, you literally just put the tail in his hand and it's like, oh, it's a whip. But now they actually gave it a functionality. So it's like a spear sword now, which is kind of cool. Yeah, this is a nice Cheetor. One thing I am noticing is that his articulation is definitely like in line with Studio Series, where it's got like the ball joints and some of the hinges and everything. It's not perfect, like the elbows they don't even go 90 degrees, which isn't too bad. But overall, he's got a swivel there too. There we go. Has like a detent where it didn't want to go out. Yeah, he's cool, man. I'm digging it. This is really nice. One thing I do have to voice my concern on about this entire line is if they're going to make me buy every single character from this movie twice. I really wonder what's going to go on with that, because obviously I've got 2 Cheetors from this movie. So far, we don't really know if there's going to be a Nightbird or Wheeljack for the movie, for Studio Series, so that might be it. Who knows? It's kind of a weird thing they're doing, but overall, it's what they're doing. It's kind of interesting. The Bumblebee movie didn't do this, but here's Rise of the Beast giving us 2 lines of Deluxes and Voyagers for the same movie. So yeah, overall I'm pretty impressed. I like it. I mean, you can see how it's moving. It's got a nice ball joint at the head, ball joints at the shoulders, elbows. He has ball joints at the wrist, which is nice. They move in and they can swivel. He's got a swivel at the waist. Yeah, his articulation's nice. He moves cool, looks cool. I mean, it's Cheetor. How can he not look cool? Unless you're talking about that old universe figure, then yeah, he can not look cool. Alright, so I'm digging him in this robot mode. Let's see how the cheetah mode works. And honestly, from what I've seen, I think I'm really going to like this cheetah mode. So it's Cheetor. It shouldn't be too complex, but, you know, I literally just opened this thing, so we'll find out together. How about that? We'll figure out how this goes together. So I'm pretty sure that's probably going to flip something like that. There we go. I really like how these cheetah legs transform. That's actually really clever. I've never seen that before for a Cheetor. Wow, that's cool. So then, like, the foot just flips in. Yeah, I'm digging that. I'm digging that. And then I'm assuming that's probably just going to rotate. And then the tail will plug in. I don't know if the gun goes anywhere. I mean, I'm sure it does. It's got that little slot right there. We'll find out on the gun. Alright, some Cheetors have an odd time with the chest. Let's see how this chest works. Okay. Okay. We're trying to get it out. There we go. And then this. What's going on with that? Oh, there we go. So it's the whole torso is like its own assembly. And then what does the head do? Does the head just stay there? Yeah, I think the head's just going to stay there, I guess. Does it? There we go. Maybe. Okay, so flip the head around, then get the cheetah in right there. I do know so far that the arms just kind of hang down, which is kind of a disappointment. Apparently, that's all the arms do. Oh, I'm seeing that tab right there. Is that where the gun goes? I'm gonna assume yes. Yeah. So it is like the guts. That's so cool. It's like a gut gun. I'm surprised the Kingdom one didn't do that. But this Rise of the Beast one's giving him the gut gun. Isn't that odd? Still cool, though. Still really cool. And I guess that forms the cheetah chest. Yeah, that really works. Oh, wow. Yeah. This is a really nice cheetah mode. I'm really digging this. Oh, and that actually tabs in, too. Okay. Yeah, we have a winner here. This is a really cool cheetah mode. I really like that. I do wish they found a way to fold the arms in a little bit better, at least the hands. But the proportion, the look, there's a lot of spots for the paint. This is a really nice cheetah. Does the mouth open? It does. Look at that. Oh, man, this is a really cool figure. How does it pose? Like, a lot of Cheetors don't really pose too well. How does it pose? So the legs have a decent amount of motion. It doesn't pose the greatest, because, I mean, it is a Cheetor. It's kind of a shame we don't really have a Cheetor that poses really well. I do say, though, it is more posable than the Studio Series one, for sure, because the Studio Series is a little stiff in the cheetah mode. But this one, wow, that is cool. If anything, I might end up keeping this guy in the cheetah mode. I actually think this is a really nice mode for him. So yeah, this is the figure from the pack I wasn't sure if I was going to keep, but having it now, I'm pretty impressed. And I think he's got a spot in my non-movie figure collection. I recommend this one. But up next, we have Nightbird. Alright, so Nightbird right out of the box. I know very little about this toy. Number one, I'm going to assume she's mistransformed, and that's supposed to go up. I'm supposed to assume those are little feet. Other than that, I think she's looking proper. There we go. It's really cool that Nightbird's in this movie. I do have the Flex Changer figure, but I was really curious about this Deluxe. And again, like, are we going to get a Studio Series? Or is this Nightbird from the movie? I don't know. I mean, it looks pretty accurate. Looks pretty faithful. But it does have interesting colors. It has like this, goldish beige and some dark grays. But it does look cool. This is a very cool looking robot. Let's get her accessories going. She's got a sword. Oh, look at that paint on the sword. That's really cool. So we'll get that there. And then these are like half. I feel like another figure did this recently. I don't know. It's like these half pieces. I wonder if you can just put one in. Can you just put the one in? No, you have to tab them together and then put them both in. That's really odd. Why is it separate pieces? Maybe for the vehicle? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, she's got this claw, which is pretty cool. And then she's got a sword going back to her G1 Ninja roots. It's actually kind of cool. Her head looks a lot like G1 Nightbird. It's a very interesting character, how they've decided, oh, we'll just make Nightbird a herald of Unicron now. Okay. I mean, I'm assuming that's what the Terracons are, given that seems to be what it is. This is a really cool figure, though. I don't know if that's supposed to fold down. I don't know. Because, see, that's obviously how that goes. I kind of think that looks better flipped that way, but it doesn't seem to tab in proper. So I guess that's flipped like that. For the proper transformation, I guess. I mean, I've literally just opened this thing. You saw me open it. I don't know if there's any other little bits that should be somewhere. But it's looking pretty good so far. I like this armor. I like the little hits of purple here and there. I have noticed the chest is a little untabby. But it does tab in, which is nice. Unlike some hood chest Transformers that just straight up don't tab. Yeah, this is cool, man. This is really cool. I can't wait to have her with Battle Trap, and I still haven't gotten Scourge yet. Believe it or not, I don't have Scourge yet. I'll get him. I'll get Scourge. I'll get Scourge here soon. Yeah, this is a really nice robot. Again, are we gonna get Studio Series? I don't know. If we are, then I wonder how much different it's gonna be than this. Because this, I mean, if this is our only Nightbird for the movie, this seems fine. Like, what's the whole point of having these two different lines? It's kind of confusing to me. We'll figure out what happens. This video might get pretty dated when we find out, who knows how many months down the road or even years. Honestly, they might give us a Studio Series Nightbird in like 3-4 years. Look at how far they've done Bumblebee movie stuff, and we still don't have Voyager, Shockwave, or Skywarp. That's all we need from that movie. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I say it all the time. It's a nice figure. I like it. It actually is pretty unique. I like this skirt armor on the side. Kind of adds to that ninja look. She's cool looking. She's really cool. Alright, so let's transform her. Let's see how this transforms. I have no idea. I mean, I've transformed hundreds, if not thousands, of Transformers into cars in my lifetime, so hopefully I can figure it out. But if not, we'll figure it. We'll consult it. I've not seen any reviews of this figure whatsoever. Not a single one. Okay, so I'm assuming that's probably going to fold like that. That is interesting. Look at the purple wheel. That's really nice looking. Purple wheel. Okay, we'll come back to that. Because the chest kind of seems to be a similar case with, like, jazz, I guess. A very jazzy chest. Where it has this panel that flips up and kind of fills that out. Look at this car. So interesting, this color scheme. I don't know what they're doing with this color scheme, but, I mean, I dig it. It's a cool color. Alright, I don't know if those tabs are relevant to the chest or to the arms, too. But we'll figure it out. We'll get there. Okay. So then these... This is the hip armor. Do the hips do anything? They do. They, like, spread out. Okay. So the hips spread out. And then these flip in, which is kind of cool. I'm assuming you rotate that because you're going to want the wheel faced that way. But the leg seems to not really want to collapse in the proper way it should. Maybe you don't rotate that. Alright, so the legs fold in a very particular, finicky way. This is definitely one of those Transformers where everything needs to be lined up absolutely perfectly for everything to go together. So it's a little bit on the finicky side. A little finicky, but obviously I got there. It took some time for sure. But I do have to say it is a pretty original transformation, especially the back section. I don't really think I've seen a figure pull something off quite like that. It's, like I said, a little on the finicky side, but it's still really cool. I do like this color scheme, even though I do feel like it's a little choppy in some places, especially with these golden style hinges, and the chest seems a little nonsensical in the patterning there. But it does look cool. When it comes to weapon storage, you know my motto is typically, I don't care. I just don't care about storing the weapons on my Transformers, so I guess that goes back there. Yeah, there's like little tabs, so woo, we can put the sword on the back of the car, and it makes tons of sense. And these, I guess we can tab it somewhere, maybe? I don't know if we can separate these, and there's little sections they can, like, claw onto. Because there are, like, the little tabs. Maybe... No, not up there. It'd be kind of cool if they could go on the side, but I'm not really seeing anywhere they can go. I'm going to assume there's somewhere. Again, I don't care. If you really want to know every little facet of detail about these figures, watch a review. This isn't a review, it's just me playing with them and just kind of discovering these toys. So yeah, I'm sure you can store the weapons, no big deal. Maybe back here? Yeah. There we go. You can store it back here. Looks hideous, just as bad as I expected. Don't recommend doing that. So yeah, there is Deluxe Nightbird from Rise of the Beast. Pretty cool figure. Definitely don't like it as much as Cheetor, surprisingly. I just think I was pretty pleasantly surprised with this Cheetor, and I just had low expectation for it. This is a little finicky. Very tab-heavy. There's so many tabs on this figure. But, again, you know, it's a part of this box set, and if you're collecting Rise of the Beasts, I think Nightbird's going to be a pretty significant Terracon in the movie. So, that just leaves one more figure in this video. The very controversial, but the most anticipated for me, Nerdy Wheeljack. For the record, I hate this kind of packing. It gets everywhere. It's such a mess. It's not good for the environment. Hasbro, stop this. Just use the cardboard ties. You used the cardboard ties like 10 plus years ago. Why still use these? You're trying to do plastic-free packaging. Get rid of these. I hate them. Alrighty, last and not least, at least in my opinion, we have Wheeljack. So this design, I'm not going to touch on it too much, but a lot of people hate it. They think he looks really dorky. They wish he looked like how he did in the Bumblebee movie. I get it. I kind of wish he had at least the head design too. But I like this design. I think he looks pretty cool. I like the nerdiness. I like the suspenders and the glasses. It kind of fits the character of Wheeljack. I mean, Wheeljack has been so different throughout the years. He's only been consistently the same recently. So it's kind of a nice refresh of the character to have this drastically different look. But my first impression of this guy is he's a little floppier than I expected. He's a little floppier, which is not a good thing, obviously. One thing, too, his wrists, his hands, they're painted black on the top, but not the rest. That is weird. That is actually bad. I don't know what they were thinking there. I kind of wish he just didn't paint his hands at all. But, okay. So, yeah, like I said, my first impression, he feels kind of hollowed out. Like, because of the budget of the figure, it's almost like they were like, oh, well, we'll just, make him kind of hollow and, not that durable, I guess. Very odd feeling. I haven't felt a figure like this in a while, especially since he has ball-jointed hips. A lot of modern Transformers toys don't have ball-jointed hips, and this is why. Because of this. I mean, look, his arms kind of flooping around because it's, it's on this hinge right here, which is surprisingly kind of loose. But the legs, this isn't normal. It's the main line. I need to remember that. This is the main line. Is Wheeljack going to get a studio series? I don't know. We'll see. I feel like this figure might actually not be good enough I don't know. It's so funny. This is the surprise hit. This is kind of mid. And this so far, I don't know. Well, let's get into it a little more. Let's see if my opinion changes. I mean, it already kind of has, because I was actually really looking forward to this. So, I like the head. I think he looks goofy. I think he looks silly. That's what Transformers is, man. Goofy, silly robot fun. And I look at that and I'm like, yeah, I think that head could be Wheeljack. It fits the kind of nerdy scientist kind of character. I like the suspenders too. They just look so goofy. I don't know. I like his look. I do wish he had the big arm cannons like he did in the trailer. That would be really cool. But it's okay. We get this gun. We get a gun. The gun, I do have to say, looks very interesting. It does kind of look like a weird Wheeljack invention with these weird angles, and I feel like this gun might do something special in the movie. If it's even in the movie. Yeah, it's an interesting weapon. Definitely interesting. Yeah, I just feel like there's some unpainted detail here. I feel like that should be painted on the thighs, but no, they had to paint the top of his hand black, ? Oh, wow, okay. He's just kind of coming apart at the torso. Here, let's fix that. Yeah, man, it's not a bad figure. It's definitely not a bad figure, but I was kind of taken aback by how floopy it is. It's just kind of flooping around. I mean, look at that. That's not really holding its weight. I thought I was getting a good deal with this pack being $55, but I don't know. These really don't feel like up to modern deluxe standard. Cheetor does. This feels like a modern deluxe. Nightbird, I would say she kind of does, but this Wheeljack, man, I feel like they cut a lot of corners on it. Ooh, man, I'm kind of let down. I'm a little let down here. I still think it's cool. I don't regret getting this set, but when I said last and not least, I don't know. I don't know about the least part. So yeah, let's show off his articulation. Let's see what he's got going on. So he's got a nice ball joint at the head, a very nice ball joint. You get some tilts, you get a lot of up, decent amount down. That definitely works. The shoulders are on hinges and ball joints and another hinge. So you have a lot of articulation in the shoulder. This one seems very fine when it comes to the motion, but this one, there's something going on there. That is not okay. I noticed on his back, he's got a lot of hinges going on for the transformation, and it seems like this whole section should tab in, and it simply doesn't. So that's a problem. Man, it's so rare I open a Transformer and I'm let down. It's really interesting that this has happened. Ball joints at the hips. Does he have anything at the waist? He does. So he does have a waist. Ball joints at the hips. Oop. Okay. So he does have thigh swivels, but they're so tight that I'm worried I'm going to break him. They don't want to turn. So let's just say no thigh swivel, because that is so tight in there. Because look at how big that mushroom is. And it's working against a ball joint. That has so much more friction in it than that. That is going to move and do anything before that even budges. So that's just some simple design oversight. Nice knee bend, though. Knee bend's good. You do have shin articulation for the transformation, I guess. Interesting. And the feet, though, I do have to say the feet are very nice. You get a nice forward, you get a nice tilt, you get a really nice back. I do have to say the foot articulation is actually pretty solid. So overall, is this figure bad? No. But it's given me some pre-Studio Series vibes. I mean, these are some of the first movie toys we have had outside of Studio Series since 2017. So it's been 6 years since we have had movie toys not in the Studio Series line. So this is kind of reminding me of something from Dark of the Moon or something from Age of Extinction, and that's not really a good thing, but in a way it's kind of given me some deluxe movie jank nostalgia, because, Studio Series has been, I would say, 9 or at the very least 8 times out of 10 home runs. But this is, like I said, we'll see if we get a Studio Series. And if we do, we'll see what happens to these in my collection. I've purchased them. I have them now. We'll see if I have them down the road if they do Studio Series. But so far, I'm happy to have this Wheeljack It is a cool Wheeljack. Let's transform it. Let's transform it. Let's see if the transformation and the vehicle mode make up for some of these compromises and oddities in the robot mode. So let's go ahead and just start ripping into them. So I'm assuming we're just going to tear them apart. I'm kind of seeing how the back is forming here. Does that rotate and form anything? Or is that just... Oh, that does form a bit. Okay, that does form a bit. I'm liking these legs. They actually kind of remind me, like how it kind of curls and folds. It's giving me some Dark of the Moon Ratchet vibes, which is definitely not a bad thing. I do remember when this figure was leaked, I remember seeing the how the back is just, oh, there are knees on the back. Okay. It does have TV Pablo. I don't know what that means. We'll probably find out in the movie. I know he's supposed to have more writing, like on the doors, and this figure does not have that. So again, you know, someone might consider that a knock against this figure, but I mean, it's a Transformers movie toy. They never really have all the details, do they? Okay, so what's going on here? So I'm assuming those are going to fold in. And then the transformation seems pretty smooth and solid. I'm digging this so far. I don't know how that's going to work quite yet. Oh, like that. Like that. And then the feet, I guess, are going to kind of tuck in there. Interesting, interesting. And last, we got to take care of the arms somehow. So, I'm not sure how much of that stuff's supposed to be sticking out still. Yeah, we can see that the arms are going to go right there ultimately. But we just have to determine... Okay, so I'm thinking that kind of tucks in, that tabs in. And then that's going to tab into the foot. It's kind of cool seeing how the arm tabs into the foot. I do have to say, this is a good transformation. This is pretty intuitive. And then that right there kind of goes in. And I'm assuming there's a slot in the door that's going to go into the shoulder. This is kind of nice. I think the transformation's actually saving this figure a little bit for me. I mean, it's Transformers. It's very hard for me to dislike a Transformers toy. It's so funny. Some Transformers toys are like, yeah, that figure's really bad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's really hard to have a bad Transformers toy. But, you know, this one definitely did let me down a little bit when I first opened it up. One thing, though, what's going on here? Doesn't want to tab in. Is it the suspenders? Do they need to be not folded in like that? Because you kind of assume they just fold it in, but I feel like stuff's kind of colliding. Maybe if I can untab the arms again, flip these out. Do these go out, maybe? Not back in, no. Go out, thank you. Yeah, I'm liking this transformation. It definitely does have some finickiness. Just a little bit. Not as bad as Nightbird, for sure. Yeah, that's what I think was going on. The suspenders are in the way. Alright. So then that'll tab up there. And then it all squishes together, I'm assuming. Maybe. If we want to cooperate. Why is it not squishing? Why are we not squishing? What's going on? Can we please squish? Look, it's kind of gappy on the side. Okay, so the hips right here need to actually be extended like this, not pushed in, because pushing it in is going to leave that gap, but having that folded like that will not have a gap. And then that actually kind of interestingly tabs in. And there we go. As long as you have that right, we have a pretty interesting little mode here. Very compact, kind of small. You can see it's about the same size as Nightbird here. Yeah, it's a nice alt mode, for sure. I don't know, I still like it. I still like this Wheeljack. Got a couple places to tap the gun in. You know, again, I don't really care about that, but I know some of you do. I do want to point out that white doesn't match. The white paint doesn't match with the white plastic. That's nothing new with Transformers, man. That's nothing new at all. So, decent mode. Decent transformation. I did enjoy it. It definitely, I mean, look at that. turns into something different. It definitely has a lot of moving parts, that's for sure. So, the end of the day, what we have here are 3 mainline Rise of the Beast Deluxes. I already have talked about the mainline Rise of the Beast Voyager Primal, which is an interesting toy. Very nice. I think definitely nicer than these. But I'm noticing a bit of a quality dip. Kind of almost like these are budget figures in a way. Like they're trying to make them maybe $20 each. Is that, I don't know if that's going to be the retail in the individual releases. If so, then I can kind of justify some of this quality if they're $5 less. But the fact that this, 3-pack was $55 when normally deluxe packs are like $70, $75, basically $25 each. I still think it was a good deal. I still think I ended up with 3 pretty cool figures here. But surprisingly, the surprise hit of the pack is the one I was least wanting. Cheetor. This Cheetor is very cool. Are any of these figures something to write home about? I would say there's something to write home about, but not like, oh my gosh, they're the best things ever. There's something to write home about, like trying to, tell home about, some interesting oddities that you've gotten, some weird facets of Transformers. Like, I got this Wheeljack with glasses that, has an odd transformation and turns into a camper and is a little floopy, but it's still cool. These are interesting figures, for sure. Do I recommend them? If you're into Rise of the Beast, if you're into this movie line, I think they're worth it. But I do need to stress there might be Studio Series. Hell, for one of them, there is Studio Series. So, if you like these characters and you want to wait, it might be worth the wait. We might get a nicer Wheeljack. We might get a nicer Nightbird. And if we do, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these figures. I'll probably do a comparison video. Once I'd get the new Wheeljack or the new Nightbird, if we ever get them, I'd do a comparison. And at the end of that, I would decide if these are still different or worthy enough to stay in the collection. We'll find out. But for now, I really wanted some more Rise of the Beast fix in my life. I didn't have Nightbird or Wheeljack yet. And this Cheetor, obviously, I've got the movie accurate one. But this one still is pretty cool. It's kind of neat that there's these non-movie accurate movie maximals that have been made. They're kind of a cool little piece of Transformers history. I feel like this Cheetor and Air Razor, maybe Rhinox, even though he seems fairly accurate to the movie, maybe those figures we'll look at years and years from now. Remember those, maximals from Rise of the Beast that weren't accurate to the movie but were still made and kind of looked cool? Remember how Air Razor was the first leaked figure and we all thought that was Studio Series? But then we got another Air Razor leaked right after? This is a very interesting line. I'm very excited for this movie, and I'm happy I was able to share with you some pretty interesting figures today. There we go, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Special shout out to channel members, as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Alrighty, there we go. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next.
Actually, fun fact. I don't know if you saw this, but you actually take the sword, not down there, even though it does go down there, and you put it up here as the spoiler for the car. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I just opened the toy in the video. Obviously, I didn't know everything about it. But yeah, since the car does have a spoiler in the movie, that is actually kind of a cute way to replicate it. I'm putting this at the end of the video to see how many people feel so necessary to correct me in the comments, even though I know. I don't always know in the videos. Sometimes I do miss something. Sometimes I forget something. But I want to test it. I want to see how many people correct me on that and didn't even finish watching the video. Alrighty, there we go. Have a good one, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.